2020, Tzu Chi signed a memo of cooperation with several local governments across Taiwan.
慈济也有许多宝贵的经验，以及许多热心的志工。
In 2019, Tzu Chi volunteers in Taiwan mobilized a total of 18 million times to serve the needy. Their services translated to over $400 million in terms of manpower cost.
这只是傻子，就不会干。
变干嘞，环境无好，经济绝对无好，安尼好个。赞。92啦，这个100块无回啦，100块拿回来，很可爱啊。爱是世间上看的产鱼，人生就是要你平平安安啊！听讲心动蹦蹦蹦，你无蹦蹦嘛，心动平平叫你看。来，蹦起冰冰叫嘞。昨天换新呢？大嘞。
Life and death is only separated by a breath.
Kami memakamkan jenazah-jenazah ini. Udah puluhan tiap hari.
In 2020, a pandemic plunged the world into an unprecedented crisis.
Es como una película de terror, pues. Adentro parece un cementerio.
Para que nada, yo quisiera que me lo entierren a mi hermana.
É isso que eu peço para Deus todo dia.
Cosa ancora più tragica è che questi defunti venivano messi così nudi, da soli.
Medical professionals geared up physically and emotionally.
感动大家，大家就会努力的去照顾。
一旦心里面没有恐惧啊，我就可以更全心全意的来照顾病人。
不是就是放弃的时候。
As medical professionals worked on the front lines, Tzu Chi volunteers also did what they could to help people fight against the pandemic.
拿杯子都会抖，就告诉他说：“你抖什么？不要抖。”
الهدف من العمل هذا يعني نحن بدنا نأمن للناس احتياجات الكمامات، لأن بالسوق انفقد الكمامة نهائياً.
At Tzu Chi's headquarters, everyone was busy preparing COVID-19 supplies for those self-quarantined at home.
传递给每一位在隔离中的人，给他们最大的祝福。
In China, Tzu Chi was also busy delivering supplies.
感谢慈济的师兄师姐们的关心和关爱，有了你们的爱和支持，定不负众望。
A volunteer in Wuhan bought and delivered supplies all by himself.
多一个人就多一个风险。这是给第7医院医护人员送去的生活物资，我们慈济基金会武汉志工团队去购买的采购。
应该是我们去感谢慈济，怎么是他们过来还跟我们发？我也想通过这次，就是让我们慈济和我们医疗机构的连接就更加的紧密。
我们安抚的是剩下的还有900万的老百姓，所以再次我们所有的慈济志工来感恩大家。
好，谢谢你们，谢谢你们雪中送炭，既给我们带来了爱心，也给我们送来了温暖，让我们很感激。
Tzu Chi volunteers also delivered hot meals to doctors and nurses in hospitals.
保证温度，保证那个顾客在喝的时候它有一定的热度。
然后做这一份，其实我们是挺开心的。
在这种情况下还出门，然后真的很难，这种东西真的很难，真的很辛苦，所以就听了觉得很感动。
As of the end of 2020, Tzu Chi had brought pandemic relief supplies to 87 countries and regions around the world.
Thank you so much for considering us, listening to the real outcry of the poor sick people from India.
After 2年
Our friendship extends over 30 years. I ask God and Buddha to bless and guide you as you continue to reach out to all who need your loving help.
In Thailand, Tzu Chi gave out used clothes to refugees.
We cannot work, cannot living, and many problems. So she really helped too much about refugee living in Thailand.
In Indonesia, Tzu Chi worked with the military to bring aid to the poor impacted by the pandemic.
Dalam beberapa hari ini bisa membantu, karena yang diberikan itu kan bahan pokok untuk sehari-hari.
Nah, makanya dapat sembako ini saya berterima kasih banget udah dapat ini.
Rasa sedih, Bu. Nggak apa-apa, Bu. Sedihlah, Bu, sedikit.
Thanks to Tzu Chi's quick response to disasters and its emergency and long-term recovery efforts in the aftermath, the Indonesian government awarded Tzu Chi for its contributions to the country and its people.
Adalah menunjukkan bahwa mari kita bersama-sama, semua lapisan, apapun yang harus kita lakukan, sekecil apapun, kita berbuat.
In May 2020, a Buddha Day ceremony was held at Tzu Chi's headquarters to honor Buddha Day, Mother's Day, and Tzu Chi Day. The ceremony was also held in many countries, including Myanmar, the Philippines, and Haiti. In Myanmar, donating rice is a common practice. In Malaysia, local business people came together to fundraise for the needy impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic.
We all know that there are many people who are doing so much worse than us and is deserving of all our help.
Feeling for the stateless people living in a seaborne lifestyle off Sabah, Malaysia, local Tzu Chi volunteers brought them supplies by boat.
其实那个船真的很窄小啊，他们连生活的地方都没有啊。
Also affected by the pandemic, these sea gypsies were in need of help more than ever.
Melalui itu bantuan kami itu Yayasan Tzu Chi.
In July 2020, 2 Muslim Tzu Chi volunteers from Turkey donated 2 copies of the Quran to Tzu Chi.
一本是20年，一本是500年，手抄本。我把2本古兰经都送给上人。
In Istanbul, after receiving aid from Tzu Chi, Syrian refugees prayed together for the pandemic to end soon.
اللهم ارحمهم بأن تصرف عنهم هذا البلاء وهذا الوباء.
نتمنى الشفاء لإخوتنا التايوانيين والصينيين وأي بلد في العالم كله، نتمنى لهم المقاومة والنصر على هذا المرض.
The refugees even donated spare change they had on them to help people around the world affected by COVID-19. Altogether, they pooled together over $2,300. This is Sierra Leone, a country plagued by civil wars and poverty.
I can hear something in my ears. I can cry.
In July, Tzu Chi donated rice to help local students in need.
And that is what I got from Master. That is not only, yes, you feed the people, but teach them how to feed themselves so that they could not depend on aid.
In Mozambique, Tzu Chi broke ground for a primary school in Sofala province. In 2019, Mozambique was hit by Cyclone Idai. Following emergency relief efforts, Tzu Chi started to rebuild schools as children's education cannot wait.
Foi devastado pela esta senhora aqui. O país foi devastado pelo ciclone Idai, gritou por Moçambique e em menos de 4 semanas, 55 países.
Antica ajudou, aqui em Nhamatanda, a vila ajudou, todo o distrito estão a ajudar há bastante tempo. Quando foi das grandes chuvas.
Como a flor de lótus em terras lamacentas, Tzu Chi é o barco da esperança, é compaixão, é alívio, Tzu Chi é amor.
In August, the COVID-19 test kit developed jointly by Academia Sinica, Tzu Chi University, and Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital was approved by Taiwan's government. After mass production, the kits were donated to countries affected by the pandemic. Also in August, Tzu Chi held an event to honor 30 years of recycling efforts. Tzu Chi's recycling mission started in 1990. Since then, many people have been inspired to recycle. To observe the 7th lunar month, which is a month of gratitude and filial piety in Buddhism, Tzu Chi invited a drumming troupe to give a presentation in Hualien, Taiwan. In Latin America, to help people go through the pandemic, Tzu Tzu Chi volunteers gave out supplies to the needy, churches and hospitals in many countries, including Mexico. Honduras.
Le pedimos a la Fundación Tzu Chi que nos ayude con la comida porque no hemos comido, tenemos hambre. Gracias.
Guatemala.
A la Fundación Tzu Chi de Taiwán, a todos los que han colaborado de una manera u otra, a las familias también, al nomás llegar a nuestras instalaciones.
Dominican Republic.
A un huracán le pedí a Dios, déjame llegar a donde esta gente, que yo sé que esto es la realidad.
Saint Martin. Ecuador.
Mi tarea es tratar de organizar las entregas de los víveres y de ayudar en lo que más se pueda en la comunidad.
La maestra Chen Yen le mandan un saludo y una fundación que viene ayudando a nivel mundial. Y hoy estamos acá en Bellaflor, pues esperamos que le va a servir de mucha ayuda.
Brazil.
Fico muito grato por isso, porque vai ajudar muito a gente aqui, toda doação é bem-vinda. E a gente está muito feliz com o grupo de ter disponibilizado o tempo e o dia e fazer de coração para poder doar para os nossos residentes, para a nossa casa.
Paraguay.
Camina por la presencia de ustedes, porque imagina todo esto, ¿no? Que llega ahora. Recién está terminando este día, llega con esta bendición.
Argentina.
共体时间，希望这些医疗人员都能够平安。
Tzu Chi, la cual muy amablemente colaboró con nosotros para atención de pacientes.
Chile.
Y estoy muy agradecida por la ayuda que están dando esta organización en estos momentos, en estos tiempos tan difíciles que estamos pasando. Y muchas gracias.
And Bolivia.
Expresar, primeramente desde Santa Cruz, la Sierra Bolivia, nuestro agradecimiento, porque esto es al pueblo cruceño, querido Yen, a la Fundación Tzu Chi de Taiwán.
Cuando fuimos a la fundación y estuvimos presentes con el doctor Lacoa y todo un equipo de Bolivia, nosotros nos sentimos orgullosos y gracias por seguir apoyando a Bolivia y en especial a Santa Cruz y al Hospital Francés.
In the U.S., September alone saw multiple hurricanes, tropical storms, and destructive wildfires. On top of natural disasters, the U.S. has also been hit hard by the pandemic. Putting their own safety aside, Tzu Chi volunteers held several aid distributions for those affected by disaster or the pandemic.
Fortunate to, have supplies, but all of this really helps.
We're grateful for this right here, right now. But I actually knew about the Tzu Chi beforehand because when I lost my home in the 2008 fire, you guys were the people that helped me the most.
Until Tzu Chi showed up, there wasn't anyone here who just said, we're just here to help your family right now, quickly.
It burned, and Tzu Chi helped me.
All of 25 years of memories. Sorry.
You can't see behind the mask, but when I talk, my eyes are telling you that I care for you.
Dear friend, from the moment we learned of your hardship, our hearts are with you. We want you to know that you're not alone. We're all brothers and sisters living under the same sky.
When she was reading me the letter from your master, and she was crying, it made me like really sad but happy. And then she's talking about how you guys started from just saving coins and just everyone helping the day to spend my coins, you know, towards, because you guys helped me, and I wanna feel like we're connected, you know.
In Lebanon, a deadly explosion at the port of Beirut in August destroyed the homes of nearly 300,000 people. In October, Tzu Chi worked with a local Islamic association to help those affected. In Taiwan, over 2,000 Tzu Chi medical volunteers from 25 countries and regions attended their annual convention in person or online.
因为我们人类永远没有办法把病毒完全清除掉，所以要学习和病毒和平共存。
In November, Dr. Zeng Wenbin, the father of Blackfoot disease treatment, passed away. He was 98. His research was used by the WHO in setting a limit for arsenic in drinking water.
朱文彬教授呢，在砷中毒对健康危害的领域呢，深深受到全世界的重视。他发现呢，砷含量越高，那乌角病的盛行率也越高。那这一篇论文啊，被引用了超过1000次，去检查4万个人了。这个在今天的即使我们有一个很大的团队的努力的情况下，大概也不太容易做得到像他那么棒。
非常了不起，很多时间去做这个方面的工作。
他做那个病人做的那种记录，我当他儿子，我也很光荣。
在我的心目中呢，他是我们所有医界的晚辈呢学习的典范榜样。
做就对了，上人讲的这一句话。
Also in November, Typhoon Rolly hit the Philippines, affecting more than 2 million people. It was the most powerful storm to hit the country since Typhoon Yolanda in 2013. A Cash for Work program was quickly launched. Feeling deeply for the Philippines, Tzu Chi members and staff in different parts of Taiwan gathered together to send their best wishes to the country and gave what they could to help those affected by Rolly.
Há barco que navega pelos mares, procurando corações aquebrantados. A gente em terras distantes, com corações sedentos de amor, como a flor de lótus, em terras lamacentas. Seja tu para os mais necessitados. Tzu Chi é o barco da esperança, é compaixão, é alívio, sushi é amor. Sushi é o barco da esperança, é compaixão, é alívio, sushi é amor. Sushi é o barco da esperança, é compaixão, é alívio, sushi é amor. Sushi é o barco da esperança, é compaixão, é alívio, sushi é amor. Sushi é o barco da esperança, é compaixão, é alívio, sushi é amor. Sushi